Most RV owners learn the hard way. They learn after the fridge stops cooling because the rig sat 3 degrees off level. They learn after a slide out starts grinding, a battery dies in storage, or a hose bursts overnight. But the best RV hacks are never expensive gadgets. They are small systems, tiny habits that make your RV safer and far less likely to ruin a trip. 15 genius hacks, counted down, starting with the one that protects the most expensive appliance in your rig. Number 15. Level the RV for the fridge, not just your comfort. Most owners level the coach because they do not want to sleep at an angle. That is only half the reason. Many absorption-style RV refrigerators genuinely need the rig level to operate correctly, and manufacturer guidance for these units specifies staying within roughly 3 degrees side to side and 6 degrees front to back, with clear ventilation around the cooling system at all times. Make leveling part of your arrival routine instead of an afterthought. Park in the spot. Check the fridge side-to-side level first, adjust with leveling blocks, check front to back, and only stabilize the rig after leveling is confirmed. Open the exterior fridge vent area and make sure nothing is blocking airflow while you are at it. Do not run an absorption fridge on a steep angle for hours just because the bed feels close enough. Keep a small bubble level mounted permanently near the fridge, and never trust a leveling app alone if the phone itself is sitting on an uneven counter. Clear plastic solves a problem you cannot see. Number 14. Install a clear elbow on the sewer outlet. This is not glamorous, but it might be the single best hack on this entire list. Install a clear sewer elbow or a clear section between your dump valve outlet and the sewer hose, because suddenly you can actually see what is happening instead of guessing. You can see whether the tank is truly draining, whether the water has turned from dark to clear, whether a flush is actually working, whether the valve is leaking, and whether waste remains in the line before you disconnect anything. The best dumping order stays the same regardless. Connect everything securely, dump the black tank first, flush it if your system has a built-in flush, dump the grey tank second, and let that grey water rinse the last of the waste out of the hose on its way through. The clear elbow does not replace gloves, hand washing, or proper hose storage. It simply removes the guesswork from a job nobody wants to guess at twice. One giant hose causes more problems. Number 13. Stop carrying a single giant water hose. Plenty of owners use one long freshwater hose for every single campsite, and it works right up until it does not. Long hoses eat storage space, kink constantly, drain slowly, and turn your storage bay into a wet, tangled mess after every stop. The smarter system carries options instead. A short hose for close hookups, a longer hose reserved for distant ones, a dedicated drinking water safe hose that never touches anything else, a quick connect system, and a small ventilated bag or box to store them separately. This lets you use only the length a given site actually requires. Color code everything while you are at it. White or blue for fresh water, green for rinse water, black or orange for tank flush equipment, and red for anything non-potable. Never let your drinking water hose double as a tank flush hose, because that single mixed-up connection is the one mistake you genuinely cannot afford to make twice at a campsite. Fittings that click beat fittings that fight you. Number 12. Add Quick Connect fittings. Everywhere. Quick Connect fittings are one of the simplest upgrades that make RV setup meaningfully less annoying, and they belong on more connections than most owners realize. Freshwater hoses, water filters, spray nozzles, external shower hoses, tank flush hoses, portable pumps, even air hoses all benefit from a click instead of a fight with stripped threads in the rain. Instead of wrestling threaded fittings every single time you arrive or leave a site, the connection simply clicks into place and holds. The rule that actually matters here is quality. Buy real fittings, not the cheapest option on the shelf, and carry a few spare washers in your kit, because cheap fittings leak, crack, or refuse to disconnect exactly when you need them most. Before your next trip, test every single connection under real water pressure at home. A tiny drip that seems harmless in your driveway can become a flooded storage bay or a soaked campsite by the time you notice it overnight. Unseen pressure can still burst a line. Number 11. Put a water pressure regulator at the source. This hack can genuinely save you from an expensive plumbing disaster. Campground water pressure is never consistent. One site delivers gentle pressure, and the very next site down the row can blast well beyond what your RV plumbing was ever designed to handle. Use a quality adjustable water pressure regulator right at the campground spigot, before your hose and before your RV ever sees that water. The correct connection order runs from the spigot to the regulator, then the filter, then a drinking water safe hose, and finally the RV inlet itself. Some owners prefer the filter ahead of the regulator depending on their exact equipment, but the core principle never changes. Your RV should never be exposed directly to unknown campground pressure. Carry a small pressure gauge too, because it takes seconds to check a site before you connect anything. This single habit heads off blown fittings, leaking lines, damaged toilet valves, faucet leaks, and water pump failures before they ever get the chance to start. Small items vanish faster than anything else. Number 10. Use a departure tray for everything Roos. Most departure mistakes happen because small items scatter across the entire campsite during setup. The wheel chocks sit behind a tire, the power cable is still plugged into the pedestal, the water filter is still attached at the spigot. The leveling blocks are wedged under the trailer and the sewer cap is somewhere in the grass nobody remembers walking through. The fix is one large plastic tray or a collapsible crate you designate as the departure tray. As you break camp, every loose external item goes into that tray immediately. Wheel chocks, leveling blocks, jack pads, the water regulator, the filter, freshwater fittings, sewer fittings, gloves, power adapters, and any small tools you pulled out. Nothing gets packed permanently into storage until your final walk around is complete. This single tray dramatically reduces the odds of leaving expensive gear scattered across a campsite, and it gives you one clean visual signal that the site is genuinely clear before you pull out. Let me say one thing, and then I will not bring it up again. I have gathered these secrets and much more in a book over at rvsecrets.com. If you want it, it is in the comments and on the right side of the screen. That is all. Let us go further with the video. Number 9. Build a repeatable 2-minute walk around. Professional drivers walk around their vehicles before every single trip for a reason, and RV owners should adopt the exact same discipline. Before moving the rig, walk around it slowly and physically confirm each item rather than trusting memory alone. Shore power cable disconnected and stored. Water hose disconnected and stored. Sewer hose disconnected, capped and stored. Steps retracted, stabilizers raised, slide outs fully retracted, windows closed, roof vents closed, antenna lowered and the awning locked down. Exterior compartments closed and locked, tires visually inspected, and on a trailer, the hitch, safety chains, breakaway cable and trailer plug all correctly connected with tow vehicle lights confirmed working. Remove the wheel chocks last and make absolutely certain nothing is left underneath the RV before you move an inch. The trick that makes this actually work is consistency. Always walk in the same direction, starting at the driver's door or the hitch, following the identical clockwise route every single time. You catch far more mistakes through a repeatable system than you ever will relying on memory under pressure. Dead batteries end more trips than mechanical failures. Number 8. Store batteries. With a real maintenance plan, dead batteries ruin more RV trips than almost anything else on this list, and the fix is planning rather than hoping. If you store the rig, do not simply disconnect the battery and assume everything will be fine months later. Build an actual plan around it. For lead-acid house batteries, check electrolyte level where the battery type requires it. Clean the terminals thoroughly. Use a compatible smart maintainer where appropriate, check voltage periodically through the storage period, and turn off unnecessary parasitic loads before you walk away. Confirm your solar charging is genuinely functioning if you depend on it during storage. For lithium systems, follow the manufacturer's specific storage guidance rather than assuming the rules are identical. Understand whether the battery management system itself draws power while sitting idle, and respect the temperature limits for charging in cold storage conditions. Do not leave an RV parked for months with a weak battery, random accessories still plugged in, and the propane detector quietly draining the system the entire time. A simple battery monitor removes the guesswork entirely, showing state of charge, voltage, and current draw instead of forcing you to hope for the best. Wrong lubricant destroys the part it protects. Number 7. Use dry silicone, never grease, on the right slide. Parts a squeaky slide out sends most owners reaching for the nearest oily lubricant sitting in the garage, and that instinct can genuinely be a mistake. Oil-based lubricants and greasy sprays attract dirt and grit, and on certain slide mechanisms that trap grit increases wear instead of solving anything. RV Slide Guidance commonly recommends dry silicone-based lubrication for applicable rack and pinion systems specifically, while cable-driven systems may need no lubricant at all. The real hack is not spraying every moving part you can reach. It is identifying your exact slide mechanism first, reading your specific manufacturer's manual for that mechanism, removing dirt and debris before applying anything, using only the specified lubricant in light amounts, cycling the slide fully afterward, wiping away excess and inspecting the seals, roof, rails and hardware while everything is exposed. Never assume every slide out on the market needs identical treatment, because the wrong lubricant on the wrong mechanism can genuinely damage the very parts you were trying to protect. Airflow matters as much as electricity or propane. Number 6. Make the fridge vent a weekly inspection to point your RV refrigerator needs more than power or propane to function correctly. It needs airflow, full stop. Manufacturer guidance for absorption units specifies that ventilation must allow air to enter through the lower intake, move through the cooling system, and exit cleanly through the upper vent. And blocked or inadequate ventilation can hurt performance and create real safety risks on propane-equipped systems. Once a week during any trip, physically inspect the exterior fridge vent area for leaves, insect nests, dust, stray plastic bags, mud, wasps, damaged vent covers, obstructed airflow, unusual smells, or any soot around the propane components. Never block a refrigerator vent just to keep bugs out unless you are using approved vent screens specifically designed to preserve airflow through the mesh. And if you ever smell gas, notice soot, see poor cooling performance, or suspect any propane issue at all, stop using the system immediately and have it professionally inspected before you touch it again. A frozen bottle does 2 jobs at once. Number 5. Freeze water bottles to create a backup fridge. This is a low-tech camping trick, and it genuinely works every time. Before you ever leave home, freeze several drinking water bottles and place them inside the cooler instead of loose ice. They keep food properly cold, create far less soggy mess than melting ice, and slowly become drinking water as they thaw throughout the day. This trick pulls real weight on travel days, during power outages, on long boondocking stretches, for extra drinks outside the main fridge, and specifically while protecting food during the window when your RV refrigerator is still cooling down to temperature after a fresh startup. For better organization, freeze the bottles flat wherever your freezer space allows. Keep any raw meat sealed completely separately from everything else. Use one cooler dedicated to drinks and a second for food whenever you have the room, and avoid opening the cooler repeatedly throughout the day. This trick earns its place, especially at arrival, exactly when the RV fridge itself still needs time to stabilize after days of travel. Loose lids never survive a rough road. Number 4. Cover every open container with silicone or shower caps. This is one of the simplest storage hacks for any travel day, and almost nobody thinks to use it until something spills. Use reusable silicone stretch lids, shower caps, or food-safe elastic covers over pet food containers, open bowls, cookware, small storage bins, toiletry containers, coffee makers, and any dusty outdoor equipment riding along in storage. RV travel means constant vibration, and a lid that feels perfectly secure sitting still in a kitchen at home can work itself loose on a rough stretch of highway within minutes. For kitchen cabinets specifically, use tension rods or adjustable cabinet bars to stop items from sliding out the moment a door swings open on a turn. For drawers, line them with non-slip shelf liner so contents stop shifting entirely. For glass items, use reusable fabric sleeves or nest them inside baskets rather than letting them clink together loose. The smartest RV storage system was never about adding more cabinets. It is about preventing everything already inside those cabinets from becoming a moving projectile. Night arrivals punish poor preparation the hardest. Number 3. Keep a night arrival kit right by the door. Arriving at a campsite in daylight is easy. Arriving after dark, in the rain, tired, with a hungry family and barely any cell service is exactly when RV organization actually gets tested. Build a dedicated night arrival kit and store it permanently near the entry door, never buried deep in a compartment you cannot reach in the dark. Headlamps, a flashlight, spare batteries, work gloves, a reflective vest, a small toolkit, a tire pressure gauge, wheel chocks, leveling blocks, a portable lantern, bug spray, rain ponchos, a printed campsite checklist, and emergency contact information all belong in this one bag. The entire point is being able to handle basic safety and overnight comfort without opening every single storage compartment in the dark and rain. Your priorities after any night arrival stay identical every time. Park safely, level the rig, chock the wheels, connect power if needed, confirm the propane and carbon monoxide alarms are actually operational, get lights and ventilation sorted, and save every non-essential setup task for daylight the next morning. This next habit is not optional at all. Number 2. Test the CO, smoke, and propane alarms on a real schedule. This is not a convenience hack, it is a life safety habit, and it deserves to be treated that way every single time. Fire safety guidance for RV owners specifically calls for working carbon monoxide and smoke alarms inside the rig, tested monthly along with regular checks of propane supply lines for kinks or damage, avoiding overloaded electrical outlets, keeping generator exhaust pointed away and downwind of the RV at all times, and having the entire rig inspected by a trained technician at least once a year. Some manufacturer manuals go further, recommending detector testing after any storage period, before every single trip, and weekly during active use. Build this directly into your pre-trip routine without exception. Test the smoke alarm, test the carbon monoxide alarm, test the propane alarm, check every alarm's expiry date, replace batteries where your alarms use them, inspect the propane hoses and regulator area visually, and confirm generator exhaust genuinely cannot reach the RV or drift into a neighboring campsite. If you ever smell propane, extinguish every flame immediately. Do not touch a single electrical switch. Shut off the propane supply if it is safe to do so. Open every door and window, leave the area entirely, and have the system professionally inspected before anyone uses it again. Everything on this list ends in one bag. Number 1. Pack a 5-minute repair kit before you ever leave. The final hack ties every single one before it together. Carry the small items that stop a minor fault from ending an entire trip, because most roadside disasters actually start as something tiny that nobody had the right part to fix on the spot. Your kit should hold assorted fuses, electrical tape, heat shrink connectors, a crimp tool, zip ties, duct tape, butyl tape, self-fusing silicone tape, spare hose washers, thread tape for plumbing connections, basic screwdrivers, pliers, an adjustable wrench, a socket set, a multimeter, a utility knife, work gloves, spare light bulbs where applicable, a small tube of RV-approved sealant, a spare water pump fuse, a spare hitch pin clip, and a spare breakaway cable pin if your setup uses one. This kit will never replace a real repair shop, and it will never fix a damaged axle, a failing brake system, a propane leak, a major electrical fault, or genuine structural damage. But it will fix a loose wire, a leaking hose washer, a blown fuse, a broken cabinet catch, loose trim, a missing screw, or a temporary weather seal exactly when you need it most. The best RV owners were never the ones who avoided every single problem. They were simply the ones already prepared for the small ones, long before the road ever asked.